One last thing we can't forget about for your assignment is the expectation to build wireframes. Now, this is a very informal view of wireframes, which is kind of an informal view topic to begin with. There's something that is very customized to whoever you're working with and might be very simple or could be extremely involved depending on who you're working with. The idea of a wireframe is it's a preview of the application. We want to give the users, we want to give the development team, we want to give the testers, we want to give whoever's part of the project a quick view at what we're planning to build. We want to give an idea of what the user experience is going to be and let us analyze the gaps that might be out there of what did we forgot about and simply look at the behaviors and how we want to realize that. Is our application going to be a wizard? Is it going to be a big involved page? How do I get from one page to the other? What security regulations, what checks do I need to put in between? All these questions can start to be looked at from that experience. If I have 17 different pages, I might start to say, hey, look how long it's taken us to look through this. I mean, is a user who's never visited our company going to want to do all this before? Or if it's too short, we could say, you know what, we don't have enough data here. We can't do these things if we haven't got information yet. And so that's the goal of the wireframe, is to start these conversations. I mean, certainly if you're trying to sell a product, it's a great way to be able to get a feel for it. Now, to be fair, wireframes typically are very simple. They're not going to be super robust, but I have worked at companies where we built wireframes that were essentially HTML prototypes. There was nothing behind them, but you could type data in, you could hit the next button, and it would take you to a page. It wouldn't do anything with that data, but we actually built the whole website, including the look and feel, up front in a few days just to be able to help sell our vision. Now, it'd be tweaked, it'd be updated, don't get me wrong, but it was a really powerful marketing tool. Now, within that, there's a couple different approaches you can take. What I was just talking about was very detailed screens. We were looking at the placement of fields. We were looking at the data that shows up on the screen. We were trying to validate the requirements even of what we were getting to there. We can look at the exact things that should show up, the exact data we're going to receive. We could even consider the formatting of that data as it was going to come in. You're going to have somebody type in a date, or you're going to have a date drop-down box, or month, day, year, or something like that. We get to that level of detail. It helps me ensure that the requirements that were written align to the behavior that we're expecting. There's a very clear alignment between what the user sees and what the requirements are saying. It's a nice backup to use cases because now we're not just relying on a text description. We're actually able to show you these are the pages that we think would be the ones that would realize these use cases. A higher level, which is sometimes done in conjunction, sometimes just done by itself, is just doing screen flows, where we just focus on the big picture. We just say, how does users move around the site? What are the different features available to them? How do we flow between them? Or again, what's a wizard? Like how many pages are there? What's on each page? We might not show every field. We might not even really show more than the name of a page and a description of the functionality, but allows us to get the security issues, usability issues, even if we're looking past all the functional details that we have. Both of these are acceptable alternatives. Let's take a look at what we mean. So here's an example of a detailed screen. This was done in some drawing tool. It's not saying that you have to mock up HTML or create some sort of real applications, to start with. Just going to be done drawn up here, and so we're collecting a timesheet here, and we get the name, the dates, and the tasks they were doing, and everything else. So you might be able to say, hey, I don't know if a drop-down box would work. We have 300 tasks people could use from. Maybe we need to do a search box on that instead. Maybe we need to add them to people's timesheets based off of what they're approved to add. I can't have anybody open and close the store. That's only something a manager can do. So that's the type of things we'd be getting at with a screen like this. You can ask the question, hey, that daily total, is that automatically added up, or do we make the user add that up? It's good. It's a question that could pop out of the type of conversation that should be having. And it's important to be able to have those conversations somewhere. It might wait until the screens start to be built for real. Wireframes lets us get an early look at that. The simpler version, which might also be included, you might be doing both, is just this high-level screen flow. I come to the home page, I can register or log in if I'm not already registered. After I register, I have to log in. Often pages will do that. Or maybe it takes you all the way down to individual home. That's the security question there. The more rigorous the site, more likely it's going to have you log in immediately after registering. Make sure you actually did remember your password. You're not a bot or something like that. Then here's the things. Excuse me. These are all the pages I can go to. I can go to my profile, I can go to my collections, I can go to whatever the sites are out there. Then many sub pages that are in between there. Again, we just have a high level view. We're not trying to see all the details on the page. We're just trying to show essentially a sitemap that's out there. It's something that used to live on web pages that doesn't anymore because there's so much functionality. Well, this is kind of used to help design that out. It gives you a feel of scope and size. How many pages do I have to build? It gives you a feel for, what's the breadth of what users can do. Have I covered all the functionalities? If I have a use case that doesn't align to some pages, then maybe I need some more pages. If I have a use case that has multiple screens involved and I'm not showing it here, well, then maybe I'm underestimating the size of my effort. I have to figure out how that's going to be working. Or in some cases, maybe it's sub screens, like little Ajax loaded screens or little pop-ups or something like that. So this is the last piece. I don't care which ones you build per se. You need to build what's appropriate for your application. Do you know the details to be doing detailed screens? You certainly don't have to build a detailed screen for everything that's out here. Maybe you want to do 1 or 2 detailed screens and then just a high level flow. But this is what we're looking for from that last bit, the wireframes out there. So hopefully that's going to help wrap you up and get you completed with the starting of the assignments here.